And I am good.
All right, let's pull this up on the TV here.
This
I've done that too. Yeah, put myself in the TV and then I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at me
Well,
over
you
here.
you
It's just
missed it.
weird.
My daughter wants to see herself on the TV before going to bed because she
Aha.
knows that I will be on the TV. Gosh dang it. Show up.
it's taken a long time for the YouTube link to turn over. Done. Redirecting to YouTube.
Buffering.
We are definitely live now, and I'm going to welcome to the live stream, everybody. This is the recording session for your Comedeorological report, and I'm just getting set here to go, getting everything set up. And even though I'm saying right now I'm on the YouTube, the back page, and for this editing video, and I'm saying no, it's not made for kids. Yet our logo for tonight that I'm uploading is of babies being thrown by a tornado in honor of Justin's brand new baby of the world. And we got Mark Ingalls and his daughter here, and his daughter will not go to bed until she talks about the storms she saw.
Yes, that's right. Do you want to talk about the storm in Salt Lake? Do you remember when we ran outside and got so wet?
Yeah.
Tell them about it. No. Are you good now? Are you going to go to bed for mom now? Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, Leo, you're on the TV now. Come look. Because there's the delay. Okay.
There we go. Now I got almost everything ready to go. Always takes a few
Yeah.
minutes.
Alicia got me these AirPods for my birthday. So I'm going to try and connect them to the laptop here and see how that goes.
Second summer will come, late season storm stories. So we had quite a week just passed, and we got some action still to come in Western Canada and beyond. And okay, now I finally shared it to Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. That's the group I run on Facebook. Thank you, everybody who's here tonight. Please hit like, share, subscribe. I think we are ready to start the show now. Good evening, Brandon Hout. Good evening, Mark Ingalls. How's it going, everybody?
Oh,
Hello.
good evening. How am I still alive right now?
Yeah, you had quite a day there. You were eating lots of burgers.
Oh, yes. Lots of burgers, lots of talking. Did a remote today. It was wild. And well, I actually got up at 2:30 this morning to start on my weather forecasting for the day. And then I got all my morning radio bits in by 6 o'clock. And so it was all recording today because we were running around. And then 6 o'clock, jump into the vehicle, get to the station, grab my headphones because I forgot them yesterday. It's actually yesterday I brought the iPad in to kind of test it out, see if it works and everything. And my first time using that iPad, and actually I got everything figured out. It was working great here in this very room here. Had the box over there, and it was quite the little setup here. And then so yeah, it was working fine. Get to the station. The only thing I forgot was the headphones at the station, but that was okay. So anyways, I get to the station. I actually did a one recording just to test it out, see if it gets on, and it made it on to the radio. So that was perfect on the iPad. And then we get to the A&W, we get the everything set up outside, the music going, we get it inside. The staff were incredible. They gave us we gave us tea and coffee and stuff. And then get onto the iPad, and all of a sudden I can't get onto the wide orbit that we have to broadcast. So I'm typing in the password multiple times, and it says, nope, you can't do it. Okay, go check to see if VPN is still going, and that's the thing to kind of connect the iPad into the wide orbit or something silly like that. So then I connect that, and it still says no. Okay, so I call engineer, IT. All right, guys, what's going on? This was working 2 hours ago. And he's going in there. He's like, okay, go through this browser and click this and see if it works. It still doesn't work. And they're like, okay, we don't know what's going on. Well, and I'm thinking, I asked the staff at the A&W is if there's something up with the Wi-Fi or something, if it needs their. It's like, oh yeah, the Wi-Fi has been really sketchy these days around here at A&W. So we was like, okay, we're gonna go back to the radio station and we're gonna go see if the Wi-Fi is still working over the radio station, see if it's their problem, if it's A&W's Wi-Fi. We get to the radio station, lo and behold, I can get on wide orbit at the radio station. So I was like, okay, it's the A&W's Wi-Fi. So then I have to make a decision here because all the equipment that we have there is like, well, it only works on the iPad, and I need the iPad to, well, broadcast and send stuff, and it's not working because, well, it doesn't, the A&W Wi-Fi there doesn't like the iPad for some reason. So I decided, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to pick up this laptop, this microphone. I'm going to drag it over to A&W, and I'm going to do all my cut-ins on my laptop and this microphone that you see here and do the broadcast live on location. And while I was doing that, I was recording bits on my phone over into sending it over to one of our hosts to
I've done that before.
into. So I'm pretending I'm in A&W on the road and saying I'm live here at A&W while I'm at my house and saying, okay, this is awesome. Have you seen this burger? And pretending to talk to this one guy who doesn't want to talk to me. So that's what I did before I got back to the A&W for 9 o'clock and then carried on my live on location there for the rest of the day. So yeah, it was quite an exciting morning.
There you go, stealing Wi-Fi at A&W,
And it didn't work.
and it didn't work.
Hey, how's my audio?
Your audio sounds okay, but that's just one sentence.
Hey, how's my audio? And then another sentence.
That sounds pretty good. All
right, the AirPods are working then.
Special weather statement: Fraser Canyon, 15 to 25 millimeters, 40 millimeters in heaviest rain bands. Low pressure currently off Oregon coast, move inland Friday, track across BC Friday evening. Rain at times heavy will begin Friday night, taper off. There'll be thunderstorms involved in the right side of the province. And we have up air quality statements. Lots of air quality statements in BC, lots of air quality statements in Saskatchewan. That's pretty much all that's going on right now for weather is that, and there's a heat warning in Ontario, so the upper level low is starting to force the heat east. That's what's going on. So nothing that interesting. Been seeing this icon more and more this week all over Canada, but this
we have that here,
and this is the updated map now. So
I like the 10 to 20 millimeters of rain over the ocean. That's nice.
Yeah, it's sort of weird, eh? Quebec, not much going on there.
Okay, so it really grinds my gears when they shade these areas, but then don't label it at all. Like a minor threat of what?
Friday to Saturday, yeah, a minor threat of right up there of gray. It could be very gray out.
I know they don't do that in Alberta or the prairies. There we go.
No funnel cloud, no tornado icon yet. Maybe tomorrow you think they'll add one?
Small chance, but
that's some hail there. 2 to 4 centimeters.
Oh yeah.
That's like up to golf ball size. And that's right on you.
Yep, right on me for tomorrow.
So I'm not sure if that's centimeters or if that's the hail scale.
Centimeters. That's centimeters.
Is
so
it?
That'd be about ping pong ball, golf ball, pretty close.
Yeah.
Big hail. Big
and
hail.
120K wins. So
it looked kind of more like a line event to me, so maybe not a tornado event necessarily. Northwest Territories, a little bit of thunderstorming up there tomorrow. Friday to Saturday, yes. And then this is BC today.
No thunderstorms for you.
That's Saturday to Sunday. But this is what we're looking at now for, got to move this thing again, for Friday. Some of the same areas we've seen lighting up pretty consistently.
What? Thunderstorms form in the mountains where they have the orographic lift? What a concept. Yeah,
it does happen, right? It does happen. This area though here, it's it's sort of between the mountains, and that's where the last 2 weeks or so we've seen like the majority of our good thunderstorm action has been kind of down there. But this will be very rain heavy, so I'm not concerned about fire starts necessarily. Wait, what's going on right now out there? 28 down there in Kamloops, Vernon 24, but these aren't crazy hot temperatures. 24 down where Mark is, we're looking at 20, 22, 20, sort of down there.
What's
up in the
what's this in northern Saskatchewan? Is that like low clouds or is that just super dense smoke?
I would think that's smoke.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much the location of quite a
Take a
few
look at a
fires.
webcam here. Let's see.
And you can even see here some of those fires.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I was talking about that today. If you viewers out there later on want to recheck into my channel, I have a fire forecast. So there's second summer coming in September. I'm not saying it's going to be extremely hot, but we're going to rebound from some of this down weather we've had, kind of like we've been doing all year. April started kind of warmerish and dry, and we had some fires in BC, and then by late May, January set in, and we had a downtime for a while. Then suddenly we had a big rebound of heat through all July, but then we had, the big crazy storm outbreak, but that was because of a big low moving through, and things were down for about 10 days, and then we had some warmth in August that got some fires going again. But now we're in the middle of a cooler, less fire heavy process, right?
Yeah, and that's how it always goes, with the wave pattern in the upper atmosphere and whatever. Cool, warm, cool, warm.
Yeah,
I
so
I prefer the cool ones this time of year.
we'll be coming back into that, right? That warm
Yeah, and I
trend.
have some stuff to talk about that actually when the boss Frankie is in here.
And there you go.
No,
Here's our big
no spoilers.
upper level low, throwing a lot of precipitation, moisture up into various places, pushing that warmth to the east. But here we get this nice ridging coming, and there we go. Going to start September warm in BC. Looking
A
forward
pretty
to it.
broad ridge. Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm curious about. We got these like repeat tropical storm things going on here. I'm curious about what that's doing to push up the jet stream and how that interacts. That's sort of out of my league. Understanding that
I kind
they
of
are predicting that.
I kind of like it's going to enhance the low this weekend and then it'll enhance this one in the Gulf of Alaska, but with the absence of a low beyond like Tuesday, I don't know that it has a lot of impact actually.
What about just the ridging itself?
It may amplify it a little bit over like within maybe 1,000 kilometers, but really what it'll do is like we see this amplify the upper level pattern when it is close to a feature of some sort, especially when it's close to a low. So like a lot of times if there's a typhoon hitting Japan, that will amplify a trough there, which will then amplify a ridge over the west coast. So that's why when a typhoon happens, often, not always, like let's be very clear, not always, but sometimes these
But
tropical
we've
storms
seen it,
will
yeah.
do that. Will make it warm here because the ridge is amplified, because the trough is amplified by the typhoon. But we gotta it is more efficient to do that when the tropical cyclone is closer to one of those features.
Bing.
It's like Imogen is out tonight.
No Imogen on the show. Well, there you go. Yes, so for people who are tuning in and aren't aware, we record at 7 p.m. Frankie McDonald shows up, the world famous Frankie McDonald, and we record a show. We begin recording at that point. So we're live streaming still. We begin recording the show that we put on to radio and television. Very small time, But we do
It looks
have.
like you got some questions here in the chat, Joey.
Do I? Good.
Hmm.
Good. We'll get to that in a sec. There you go, Brandon.
Oh,
Nice
yes.
storm action happening for you guys overnight on Friday.
Yep.
Wow, that's going to be some good stuff for Saskatchewan too.
Might get another one of those wild light shows.
Earlier in the week, the models were kind of trying to give Ohio a derecho, like
Oh, yeah.
midweek next week.
When all this stuff makes its way over, maybe.
Yeah, I don't. It's certainly possible, but I'm not super gung ho on that probability. If it happens, though, that'll make my work next week pretty exciting. There was a derecho that went through Cleveland a couple of weeks ago, and that really threw off things because
Yeah,
that's the area that I forecast for at work with energy type stuff. And when 300,000 people are without power, that throws things off.
some strong storms still expected this weekend in Manitoba.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, talked about that on the loud line this morning in Winnipeg. And I had to be, well, I wasn't that loud. That was when the storms were rolling into Winnipeg this morning, and then I was like, it's about to get loud in Winnipeg here. The next 5 minutes. And they had those
It,
weak thunderstorms.
About to get loud in your mom's bedroom.
question from Mark.
Thing.
Question from Mark Ingalls. When will it snow at your house, Mark?
Never.
I don't believe that, but the chances are low.
It'll probably snow like once. I am at 150 meters or so, so I
Oh,
do have that going for me.
what was the year we had that? I think it was 2015 when we had snow September the 8th here. It was a snowstorm. It's like 30 centimeters snow.
You know that what one really interesting thing about Alberta and climate change is because the Arctic is warming, the upper level pattern becomes more amplified, and
Oh, yeah.
so Alberta and like eastern Montana and some parts of Saskatchewan are actually cooling on average or have been.
Yeah.
Now, let's be clear, the globe is warming on average, but
Mhm.
in isolated pockets because of the change in the weather conditions, that it's cooling on average.
Dean was asking where I get this graphic from. This is from University of Carolina. This 500 millibar graphic. So you can go to weather.rap.ucar.edu/model/display capital MOD dot PHP question mark VAR =GFS underscore 500 underscore WND and sign loop.
You could just tell them to take a screenshot.
Take a
For
take a
that.
screenshot because I've already lost it. Loop all into hours. That's where you find it, everybody.
Hey,
That'll
scroll
be
down real quick.
putting in the password 15 times to get on wide orbit.
That's where you will find that. I could bring up radar scope for a minute if you guys want to have a look at what's going on out there. So
Well, I know there's nothing interesting going on in the northeastern U.S.
no, there's nothing going on currently in BC. We do have the special weather statement we already revisited for those, mostly for those storms tomorrow, I would think. But yeah,
I think, yeah,
tomorrow
just
night.
Kansas is getting all the storms. That's
very,
all
very
action is.
interesting in BC. Very, very little going on in the prairies. That's, nothing in Manitoba actually either, except their radar's working.
Yeah.
That's news. There you
All the
go.
radars are working today.
Finally, we got radars in
Nothing to
Manitoba.
show for it.
Yeah,
Man, that
right.
Winnipeg radar is always out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's always out like on a storm day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this because that's the closest radar to my dad's house, and he's always like, "What's going to happen with this storm?" I'm like, I don't know.
Like the purpose of having a radar is so you can fucking look at the radar when there's storms coming.
So I
And
know
that's like the
this
one
week,
time that we have no radar is when there's no storm. Like, always when there's storms, yes.
That's just the way it goes.
yeah, this week, I think, yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, Bethune was, or yeah, the radar near Regina was down, but they turned it back on just as the storm were going yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday. So it's like, oh, we better turn this on. There we go. Flipped it on just as storms developed. So I was
There's
like,
some
oh,
stormy boys there.
yeah,
Yeah, there was some tornado warnings like an hour ago in one of these guys near a place called Canorado.
Colorado.
In
Yeah,
Toronto.
I just love American town names. They're so funny.
Oh yeah,
But being linear like this, that's not very likely to form tornadoes now. Maybe some of these discrete cells on the south end, but that's
there's looking more like a straight line wind event there.
Yep.
Possible. Give me a second
Probably
here.
the best chance would be the isolated supercell a little north there, but that's weakened too. Yeah, one that's
When it was
yeah.
rock and tornado warnings, there was a cell that was out, sort of out on its own there. That was having all the fun. Yeah, you got a long lineup going on there. What else is happening? Everything is mostly in the States today.
Some monsoon stuff. That's not a tornado. I know it says it is, but that's not a tornado. That's just the monsoon.
It's I don't get why that's there.
It's a dust devil.
Probably, yeah.
Not even. But yeah, that's some pretty cool looking stuff there in Arizona.
Have you ever experienced the monsoon storms? It's pretty wild.
No, I've never been to Arizona. I'm not armed well enough to go to a place like that.
Have to ask Gary and Dino.
My wife's grandma lives in Page, right there north of Grand Canyon, so we've been down there a few times. Oh, there's a flash flood warning for Supai. That is an interesting little town because you have to either take a helicopter in or hike in, and it is the only place in the United States where mail is still packed in and out by mule.
Wow.
It's about 13 kilometers from the nearest road.
There's Supai. They're getting super wet.
Supai wet.
What's going on in the Gulf of Mexico? There's really not fucking much going on right now at showtime. It's not always the case, right?
Guess I was at A&W all day, probably. And it's like, he's at A&W. We might as well not just do anything today. Yeah, that's what.
So, Brandon, talking about your technological hiccups, I had a sort of technological hiccup in Salt Lake City last week. I forgot to take contacts or glasses with me.
Oh, I saw that in the chat there.
And so
so you couldn't see to find the phone numbers of people you don't have.
Right. Well, so I ended up on a bus. Yes, I get it. Yeah, that took me a second. I ended up on a bus going to this Vision Works, and they gave me a trial pair of contacts for free. And that was really nice because my wife wanted me to photograph her graduation and with a actual camera, so I have to look through the viewfinder, and I can't do that very well when I'm blind.
You got something for free in America.
So
I did, yes.
I have to say, I'm glad you got on the right bus too.
Yeah. I'm sitting here at the bus stop like,
sounds like socialism.
Something like that.
Yeah, sounds like socialism. Okay, well, we got Frankie coming in like 4 minutes, I'm quite sure.
4 minutes.
So at least we got 3 of us. That's awesome.
Well, at least I can show you a magic trick from earlier.
Oh, yes, and the magic trick from earlier.
That was good.
I should tell you, I think for the foreseeable future, I will just get off when my part is done. So, just so you know. I have to be at work at 5.
Oh, fair enough.
Some of us have to pay for the socialism.
Yeah. There's been an influx today in Wells of really nice classic type cars, roadster cars, and guys with hot babes going by. Like I've seen like 7 or 8 of them today. So it's given me this idea. You know, like if I could get a hot babe, that'd probably raise my chance of getting a real nice classic car.
It might be the other way around.
I doubt it. Hello from Edmonton, says Ryan.
Ryan doesn't say hello. He says, hey.
Hey. Okay, I'm not even good at this, running a podcast thing. You'd think 10 years of radio would have made me good at it, but no. 10 years of radio has made Brandon good at it.
Yeah.
And it's just has just given me a resume. That's all.
I would have been
You,
bad at it today if I if
if
I
you were
wasn't
able to
smart
do
enough
it,
to run to my house to grab this microphone to save my butt today.
you notice that Dean did follow my advice and take a screenshot of that website.
Oh,
Yeah,
goody.
that's that's what we'll be missing in the show if you go to bed early because you're worried about work tomorrow. We'll be missing
You'll
your good advice.
you'll just be missing it for the second half of the show, but you'll still have Frankie.
Oh yeah, he'll give you good advice.
He's got the best advice.
Yeah.
And he
Generally
did not
does.
cause the volcano eruption in Russia.
No, he did not cause the earthquake in Russia either, and he did not steal Wi-Fi.
You better come to Brooks to steal that Wi-Fi, as it's bad.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to waste your time going to Brooks to steal Wi-Fi if that's the state of your Wi-Fi there. Like Brooks, Alberta, where it's like 1933 still.
Yeah, how does stealing Wi-Fi work when you're on the back of a horse?
Oh, good question. You got to gallop, I guess.
Okay,
Get the
well,
bars up. Gallop to get the bars up. Yeah, that's probably how to do it. Yeah.
we got still 2 minutes before Frankie gets here. Not even. Let's put on a forecast slideshow. That's what we're here to do, yo. Forecast slideshow coming up right now. GFS in the house. There it is. GFS.
Goofus.
What's gonna happen?
There we go.
Here comes
Hawaii
our
just gets hurricane and hurricane and hurricane. That's nice. Actually, the
Yeah,
first
it's
one at least is going to go probably going to go south of there. But remember last year, those big wildfires in Maui, that was driven by a pressure gradient, but by a strong high in the Gulf of Alaska and a hurricane going south of Hawaii.
Oh yes.
it's just one after another, isn't it? It's like a conveyor belt of hurricanes going on there. You know, you look at models far out, it's just like just spitting out the hurricanes one after another. Frankie, did you cause the hurricanes?
I did not cause hurricanes.
He did not cause hurricanes. He did not cause the volcano. He did not cause the earthquake that caused the volcano. He did cause us to have a great show for you. I'm ready to record if you are, Frankie.
Yes.
Okay.
Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay. You ready? Ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, listeners of C4 88.7 FM, Prince George. Hello, listeners of CKUW 95.9 in Winnipeg. Hello, listeners at 92.5 CFBX Kamloops and viewers on Rogers Television. This is the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada and beyond. And with us is my host, my panel. What did I say host for? I'm not even good at this anymore. With us is the panel of cometeorologists. That's right. We got the best weather nerds, storm chasers, meteorologists, and sometimes supermodels that there is on television in Canada. That's right. Thank you, everybody. I'm Joey Only, your host up here in beautiful Wells, British Columbia, and we're joined, he'll be with us in 30 seconds time, by Frankie McDonald. He is the world's greatest weatherman out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia, the world famous weatherman, Frankie himself. From Brooks, Alberta, radio weatherman Brandon Hauk and meteorologist Mark Ingalls is with us. That's who is here to start the show. We never know who else will show up with it. That's later's problem. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. Not this weekend, but next weekend's Labor Day, both Canada and the United States on the same day, September 2nd.
Excellent. Excellent. That's a good point. We're almost at meteorological fall, aren't we?
Guess what? September, not next weekend, will be the last chance for most people to go camping.
Last
I'm
chance
going
to go
camping the weekend after that, actually.
Well, meteorologist Mark is going to defy the rules, but your kid is not in school yet, so that's partly why, right, Frankie?
Yeah, because the kids are not in school yet in Canada, and last weekend and next weekend's Labor Day weekend, it's going to bring a lot of kids. There'll be a last chance for most people to go camping.
What do kids in America do? They're always in school there, it seems like. Like it's like July and they're in school.
They
Yeah,
start They start their summer vacation the end of May. Their summer
Yep.
vacations in June and July. They go back in August.
Yep, I went back to school in mid-August usually.
Wow.
They start their summer vacation in mid-June.
So remember that, Canada, whenever you're watching a television show where like the American kids are getting out of school or going back to, it's not the same reference point for what you and I
Yeah,
experience in Canada.
things in different countries are different.
No, they aren't. Stop it. Frankie
Then again-
McDonald,
Then they get the hockey starting in Russia on September 3rd.
hockey starting in Russia. What about hockey in Canada?
In October.
In October. Frankie, what's going on in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now?
Right now, it's not as humid in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Yesterday, it was really humid. And because the cooler air is in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now, they got really hot air in central United States right now. It's really hot in Arizona and those places, and the thunderstorms in Texas and New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado. It's really hot there right now with thunderstorms in the forecast. It's really hot in Nevada, including Idaho, and Montana, and all those places in interior British Columbia this weekend coming. It's really hot up in Alberta, in Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Colorado, Utah, California, and all those places in Texas. Then it got cooler air in all the way down to Maryland. Then it got to get really hot again in Minnesota late next week, getting ready for Labor Day weekend, both Canada and the United States of America. It's going to be busy travel time all across Canada and the United States. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Labor Day travel, both U.S. and Canada. Lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in Central America right now. Like lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in Venezuela, Colombia, parts of Ecuador, parts of Bolivia, and up around the mountain regions of Peru. It's lots of rain that's going on right now in eastern Peru. It's really dry in northern Chile right now. And lots of snow up in the mountains in southern Chile, and lots of rain and wind in southern south coast of Chile right now. It's really dry in Amazon rainforest right now. Pretty soon, Brazil will begin the rainy season another few months away. Then it got really cold air in Argentina right now. They get a remnant of Ernesto strike in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, Holland, man right now.
I was going to ask you, Frankie, about Tropical Storm Ernesto. What
It's
it was
hitting
like.
for Norway on Friday.
What was it like when it came through Atlantic Canada?
That means it's to brush St. John's still playing. It's going to hit Norway tomorrow.
Excellent. What about Iceland?
It's just going to cause another storm system in Iceland, bringing snow in the mountains, reaching Iceland, rain in the coast areas of Iceland as well. Then it got a lot of rain and going on and wind going on in Norway, Finland, Sweden right now. Then it got Stevan, a friend of base guy, lives in Slovakia. They're bringing really hot weather where Stevan of Slovakia lives.
Stefan of Slovakia getting the hot weather.
That space guy's other best friend.
What about the countries around Slovakia, Frankie?
Czech Republic. They're getting really hot weather too right now. It's really hot in France right now. It's going to be really hot in France, Spain, Portugal. Then it's going to bring lots of thunderstorms in northern Italy, next week as well, including Rome and Vatican City where Pope lives, including lots of really hot weather in Greece and Albania with chance of thunderstorms forecast, including Germany, Denmark, and Netherlands. They got showers and heading towards Germany, Denmark, Netherlands on Sunday coming up. It's really hot in Moscow, Russia right now, and St. Petersburg, Russia as well.
What about Kamchatka, Frankie?
Amtrak is on the other side. And it's getting really hot weather there right now. Leaves are changing colors up in Nunavut right now. Olivier said so. Leaves are changing colors up in Nunavut.
Still fires burning up in Northwest Territories, Frankie.
There's another storm heading towards southern Japan. This Monday and Tuesday coming up, it's a typhoon.
Yeah, tropical depression dumped a lot of heavy rain in South Korea, I saw.
There was a lot of rain there right now. Then it got lots of hot weather in Japan and rain thunderstorms in the forecast in Japan, including Sapporo, Japan. Is really hot in Sapporo. Haggadah, Japan. Lots of rain thunderstorms going on in China right now, including Wuhan, China, Hong Kong, and all those places. It's really hot in Mongolia right now still. And leaves are changing colors in Siberia right now. Yakutsk. It's a lot of rain thunderstorms going on in Thailand and Vietnam, Laos, including Cambodia, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, right now. In Thailand, lots of rain thunderstorms going on there right now in those countries around the world. And places like in Sri Lanka and India, they're still in the monsoon season. Next month will be the final month of monsoon season in India. Lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Delhi and Mumbai and all those places right now. Lots of rain in Ethiopia right now with thunderstorms and forecast. In Sudan, they got thunderstorms and rain in forecast and really hot and humid temperatures there right now. And in places like in Nigeria and Ghana, those places, a lot of thunderstorms and rain hitting Nigeria, northern Nigeria, and northern Ghana, and all those places. A lot of rain and thunderstorms there right now, causing all tropical wave coming off the west coast of Africa. Lots of rain thunderstorms going on in Central African Republic, Kenya, northern Congo, northern DR Congo, Gabon, and all those places. And the dry season's going on in Angola, Namibia, Botswana, South Africa. They're in the winter there right now. They're finishing up the winter in Mozambique and Madagascar, La Reunion, and Mauritius Islands. They're finishing up their winter and dry season there right now. In Australia, a lot of rain and showers and cold temperatures heading towards Perth, Australia. It's really hot in northern Australia. Then they got some thunderstorms and rain in the forecast in southeastern Australia, including Sydney, Australia. In those places, there will be large hail season will be starting up in Australia in Southern Hemisphere spring. They'll be bringing a lot of large hail there in Southern Hemisphere spring, September, October, November. That's their severe weather season there. Lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in lots of rain on North Island, New Zealand, cold temperatures in Invercargill, Queenstown. Then they got heavy rain heading towards Northern South Island, New Zealand. This Saturday and Sunday coming. Then they got some lots of cold temperatures later next week, including all the way up to Southern Hemisphere spring in New Zealand. Then in Antarctica starting to get some daylight too. And up in the Arctic starting to get some darkness up there too as well.
Excellent. Great forecasting, Frankie. Thank you very much once again. How was your week this week? What were you doing this week?
I'm doing great. I was singing karaoke last night. Plus, it's starting to get some darkness up in the Arctic already. And leaves are already changing colors up in Inuvik already. Fall of the year already started up there already.
That's right. That's right. And Frankie, I noticed that there's a bunch of wildfires that have been happening in Turkey. You know anything about that?
Really bad there right now.
Really bad in Turkey.
Like in Istanbul, Turkey.
Yeah, some big fires. And I saw they've had lots of fires in Greece again this year. So weather
Still a pretty
summaries.
dry region.
Also, new low temperature records up in the Yukon were set on August 21st, minus 3.5 up in Beaver Creek, minus 4.5 in Burwash Landing, minus 2.6 in Carmax, number minus 4, minus 4.5 in Kluane Lake area. So fall is starting to set in up in the north. There's still a lot of fires burning on in the north, so it's pretty wild, Frankie. Pretty wild up in Northwest Territories. Fire is just burning.
Yeah, and Trey Campbell's doing stand-up comedy on every Thursday nights.
Trey Campbell's doing stand-up comedy every Thursday night. I miss Trey Campbell. He was awesome when he used to be on the show all the time because he's a very funny man, that Trey Campbell. Frankie,
He's busy doing stand-up comedy.
You know, if you see him, say hi. Say hi to Gary and Dino for me. Say hi to Bass Guy for me.
And did you hear about this? Bass Guy's best friend, besides me, is Slovakia. His name is Stevan. He lives in Slovakia. He's getting really hot weather, and Stevan lives in Slovakia.
Heat wave in Slovakia, everybody. So, Frankie, this week there was a big earthquake off the coast of Russia, which really you did not cause.
I did not cause that earthquake at all.
You did not cause the earthquake at all, everybody. And then the earthquake triggered the Shuvalich volcano to go off, Frankie, yes. Which you did not cause at all.
I did not cause a volcano in eastern Russia at all.
Frankie did not cause a volcano in eastern Russia at all. You know what else, Frankie, was going on today? was Brandon Hauk unsuccessfully stole Wi-Fi from A&W. He was not able to steal Wi-Fi. It made trouble for him in his production that he was trying to do. He was trying to go live on the air from A&W and couldn't. Do you have any tips for Brandon on how to steal Wi-Fi better at A&W?
That means they get free Wi-Fi at the A&W. It says A&W free Wi-Fi.
It's not very good Wi-Fi at the Brooks, Alberta A&W, Frankie. So if you're in Brooks, Alberta, maybe try the library or somewhere else. So Brandon Hauk, were you stealing Wi-Fi from A&W this week, Brandon Hauk?
I was trying to, but I didn't succeed in it. I failed miserably. So that's how it goes there. But I still got my my broadcast on today, so that was good.
You got your broadcast on.
Made it
Okay.
like nothing happened, pretty much. Yeah. Nobody on the radio side knew what happened. That's all that matters.
Yeah, you were faking it, eh?
Oh
You're
yeah,
like, "Ah,
faking it.
you're in the
Sitting in-
studio. You're instead of at A&W because their Wi-Fi is no good, and you're pretending that you're at A&W and you're pretending that you're eating burgers on the air, but actually you're. And so did people in Brooks go to A&W expecting to find you?
Oh yeah, and they found me. Oh yeah, they sure did, including a magician. He
So
was
you
looking
were
for
doing
me.
magic tricks, and then someone did a magic trick on you, didn't they?
Oh yes, they did. Now, do you want me to tell you what he did right now or
We
later?
might as well. We'll get into weather in a
Okay.
second. Hank Leistra's just showing up, so we got
Okay.
Saskatchewan covered. So that's one off your list that you don't have to go as in detail on, because I'm sure Hank will. But anyways, yeah, let's
Okay.
hear it. You had a magic trick done on you.
So this is a funny story. It's a funny story. So I didn't know this was gonna happen or any. I had no idea. So I was on the other side of the A&W after the broadcast, and I was chowing down another teen burger. You know, because you got to have your teen burgers today because burgers for MS Day today. So very good cause. And so chowing down teen burger, and then I get this woman way over there. She waves me over. She sees me sitting by myself. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll go chat with them, you know. And then her son shows up, and his name's John Bing, by the way. And we sit there, we have a nice little visit, you know. I had no idea this was gonna happen or anything like that. So then he pulls out his well, first trick he did a couple of magic tricks before the big one here, but yeah, pulls out his phone and he's like, think of a number. Okay, do that. Yeah, then rolls the dice and that's your number and stuff. Oh, yes. Do you know? But then he takes this little piece of paper out right here. Okay. So he I'll probably post. So yeah, he drew the sun, the cloud, the car, and the road there on this little piece of paper. Okay. So then he drags out a box of crayons out of his pocket. Now, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So then he's like, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look over here. I'm gonna pretend I'm not looking at you, and you're gonna pull out a crayon out of this box. All right. So I pulled out the first off the yellow crayon. Okay. He said, all right, don't tell me what color it is, just color the car. So I was like, oh, so I pulled out the yellow crayon and I colored the car yellow. Yeah. All right. So then I put the crayon. Now he told me to put the crayon to the side. Okay. So I put the crayon down to the side. All right. Now he wants me to take out another crayon. All right. So I pulled out the orange crayon. And this time he wants me to color the cloud, which is way up there. So I colored the cloud. And then I said, okay, now put the crayon down. All right, I put the crayon down. All right, take out the next crayon. So I pulled out the green one. All right, color the wheels. All right, so I colored the wheels green. And then he told me to take the blue one out. All right, I took the blue one out. And then I had to color the road blue. So then so I had the crayons off to the side there. And then he turns around and he's like, all right, that's really good job of coloring, sir. Oh, well, thanks. So then he says, all right, I'm going to flip the box of crayons over. All right. And little do you know, on the other side of the box of crayons, there's this piece of paper that was taped to the bottom of the box of crayons. Okay. So I have my paper that's all colored right here. So he yanks this piece of paper off the bottom of the box of crayons. And little did it know that he drew the same picture earlier in the day and used the same crayons and colored all of these things the same as I did in the restaurant.
Interesting. See, magic tricks like that don't work on me because they're like, okay, pick up the crayon, and I'm like, color the cloud. I'm like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I don't believe in magic. That's what I tell them. So, Brandon, what happened this last week?
What happened this last week on the weather side? Well, we had some pretty good weather, some hot weather, I was everybody out east, especially around the Great Lakes, were complaining it's cold, it's freezing, they're turning their furnaces on over there. And here I am on Twitter being a funny guy saying, hey, look at over here. It's 90 degrees over here. Or 32 degrees, 34 degrees. So, yeah, that felt good doing that. I'm probably going to get payback for doing that probably later, Anyways, we had a pretty good thunderstorm roll through here yesterday. Actually, I was, in around town setting up for my remote today, sort of setting up, kind of getting things ready. And I come back here, do a live video, and next thing you know, storm blows in. Nice little wall cloud off to the southwest. Nothing too fancy there. And yeah, a quick downpour, at least 4 millimeters of rain with a quick downpour there. It was pretty awesome. Thunder all around. Nice little storm. Weakened quickly as it moved off to the north there. And then today was around 25 degrees, so a very nice day. Lots of sunshine, beautiful temperatures. But now looking into tomorrow, we're going to see a little bit of a surge of heat moving back in here. So we'll see our temperatures probably get to like 34 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. And then a cold front, well, yeah, I'd say pretty close to a cold front's going to sweep through here, act as a trigger here, and we could be in for a pretty good round of severe thunderstorms in southern Alberta, say in the evening and progressing its way to the overnight period there. Storms will fire off across the southwestern corner of the province, sweeping their way towards our area and then moving northward this time with the intensifying area of low pressure moving into the province of Alberta in the next few days. So these storms tomorrow, especially which will be the 23rd of August, especially from areas Lethbridge through Tabor into the Cypress Hills, north through Medicine Hat, Brooks, just off the Drumheller area towards Hanna, and Oyen area could be capable of producing damaging winds gusting anywhere from 90 to 120 kilometers an hour, along with large hail, possibly size of, I'd say, nickels to ping pong balls, maybe golf ball sized hail. Late day Friday evening. So we could be in for a pretty good feisty round of severe thunderstorms across southern Alberta. And that will be the intensifying area of low pressure as it moves its way through. And then those storms will track towards the Edmonton region overnight Friday into early Saturday morning. And then as we go into Saturday, we'll get some precipitation thunderstorms off to the north with some rain. Watch for severe weather, especially to the eastern prairies, especially Saturday into Sunday. And the heat will crank up on the eastern prairies. Meanwhile, here, we're going to cool off Saturday after we heat up Friday. And then we'll get quite windy on the backside of the low. Winds could easily gust 60 to 50, 60, 70 kilometers an hour on Saturday across southern Alberta. And the strongest winds likely, especially in the Pincher Creek area, possibly gusting 80 kilometers an hour on Saturday. So Saturday, expect very windy conditions. And then as we progress our way through Sunday, we'll get even cooler temperatures in the mountains. We're going to see teen temperatures for daytime highs, and into southern Alberta, low 20s. So it's going to feel, it's definitely going to feel, you'll feel that chill in the air if you're used to the 30-degree heat. we've been enjoying for the last month or so there. And we'll probably get a
That
couple.
will be so hard on you guys.
I know we're gonna be like freezing here at 23 degrees Celsius. I'll be fine. Anyways, so yeah, we'll get some showers moving through, and then we heat up again Monday. So back up to mid to upper 20s, and then we cool right back down again towards the middle of the week. So a bit of a seesaw kind of pattern. That's kind of a typical pattern that you get in Alberta as we get closer and closer to. I know I said it on our Winnipeg station this morning that summer's just hanging on for dear life as we get into the month of September, and that's usually typically how it ends. Seesaw kind of pattern. It gets hot.
It is. It is.
cool,
But looking further out, we do have
but
some
yeah.
ridging coming. That's going to maybe warm things up for second summer in September, which isn't like
Oh, yeah.
regular summer, but it's we had kind of a crappy pattern in BC this last little while. We will for a little while to come. Temperatures down, a little bit wetter, a little bit, So Manitoba Mike has showed up. Hank Vliestra, Williki, Saskatchewan showed up, and Hank's walking around since I don't want to miss a sunset or something if Hank's got it. But Mark's also been very patient because he wants to go to bed. But also we love Mark's commentary, so that if we do go to Mark first, then we lose him for the night. So I don't know what to do, Brandon.
I'll tell you a good joke right now, and a really good joke. What do you do if your balloon elephant won't fit in the back seat?
You pop it.
You pop the trunk.
That's just it's funny.
That's nice.
That's terrible. Okay, well, the camera was on Mark, so meteorologist Mark, down there in the Lower Mainland. We had quite a storm event there last weekend.
Yeah, that I wasn't here for, but it did storm on us in Salt Lake. Yeah, so I don't know an exact figure for British Columbia, but Washington and Oregon combined saw over 3,000 lightning strikes. The majority of those were west of the Cascades, and this was a perfect setup for a Pacific Northwest thunderstorm outbreak. We got a low pressure system off the Oregon coast. It's bringing in warm, moist air off the subtropical Pacific. It gets amplified by the mountains that cause the lift, and it's really good. And we actually had some thunderstorms down here in the Lower Mainland earlier this morning, right as I was waking up for work. We had thunder around Surrey around 2:30 in the morning, and it was around Vancouver closer to 4 or so, and then pushed off onto the Sunshine Coast and kind of east side of Vancouver Island. Friday night into Saturday, we are looking at like 15 millimeters of rain. That may be another thunderstorm outbreak, or it may just be rain. Jury's kind of out on that one. But that will also be an overnight event. Even if it's not a thunderstorm outbreak, I think we will see some lightning somewhere around southwestern BC. Talking about the heat in the central part of the continent, Abilene, Texas, where I used to live, broke their all-time record high. It was 45 degrees there yesterday. Breaks the old record of 44 set last year.
Interesting time of year to be breaking that record.
I don't know, actually. As I recall, Abilene was pretty hot in August, but one time it was 32 degrees there on Christmas Day. So, it's pretty hot. So they broke that. Records there go back to 1885. And I'm glad that I don't live there. For context, the big heat wave we had here in 2021, I don't know what Vancouver did, but Portland did 48, and where I lived also did 48 degrees. So still not as hot as we've gotten here in the Northwest, but 45 degrees is not fun. That heat wave is going to shift eastward. It's going to focus more on Chicago as the upper level pattern that's been in place that's kept the Northwest cool, kept Texas really hot, and then kept the Northeast really cool, and in Eastern Canada really cool. That pattern is going to break down. The heat wave is going to move towards the Great Lakes. It's going to be focused on Chicago, but I think we'll see some of that heat in Manitoba and Ontario. And that ridge is going to kind of flatten out. What that means is instead of the heat being focused on one region, it's going to be spread out more across the continent. And so we are going to warm up here in British Columbia. Brandon talked about Alberta warming up a little bit. But we false fall is coming to an end here. Saturday, of course, we're going to get quite a bit of rain in the lower mainland. I think we'll have another round sometime around Tuesday, and then after that, it's just dry and warm. And the weather models are favoring drier than average conditions for British Columbia through most of September. So fire season is
Yes!
not over. Yeah.
Well, I made a forecast video today saying that.
Nice.
The premise of the whole video was that.
Yeah,
Second
we'll
story.
see if it pans out, but that is kind of what we're looking at. And so fire season's not over.
Where is Imogen?
Imogen's
Victoria's
busy at
somewhere.
her parties. She
Yeah, so
couldn't be
Texas
bothered
get
to say
baseball
hi.
size hail.
It's hard for supermodels to find time to be on weather shows every week.
Yeah.
It's
So
enough that she produces it for TV.
right. So we'll see.
The only thing missing is her singing music. So we have a full
Yes.
celebrity on here.
So we'll see the heat. Not heat. Obviously, it's not going to be hot, but it will be above average. And we're reaching into the time of year where backdoor cold front season comes into play. This is when we have cold lows drop down the east side of the Rockies into Alberta, and then that cold, dry area sometimes comes over the Rockies, brings easterlies into British Columbia, and that creates dry air, and it heats up as it descends the mountains, and that creates very dangerous fire conditions because, of course, this is the driest
reverse
time of the
Chinook.
year. Right. The reverse
Chinook,
Chinooks, and all the crap is dry. I mean, it's rained a bit, but this is the end of the dry season. So we're not done with fire season. I don't know. I can't sit here and say that we're going to have a big fire, but like we said earlier in the season, if your house gets burned down, it doesn't matter if it's a good one or a bad one. It's a bad one for you. So it's something to watch out for. And then I wanted to ask Frankie, actually. Frankie, did you cause the volcano eruption that started tonight in Iceland?
I did not cause a volcano eruption at all.
Okay, well, the volcano is erupting in Iceland, and I saw the live stream there on the YouTube, and the fountaining is magnificent. There are sheets of lava coming up dozens of meters into the sky. This is the same volcanic region that's been erupting for the last, I don't know, 10 months or so. And it wasn't entirely unexpected. And I think we'll continue to see more volcanic eruptions from there. These phases typically start as very active with the very big sheets coming out, huge fountains, and then they kind of mellow out after a little while, and then it's just lava flows. And
Did
then
you
I
see
do
what
have,
happened there, though? Did you see what happened there? Is that we caught Frankie. We caught Frankie because he said he didn't cause the volcano in Russia.
Oh.
the truth's out, Frankie.
But he caused the one in Iceland. We
I
got
did not
you.
cause a volcano
Uh-oh.
in Iceland at all.
And then I do have one piece of news. This is actually from a couple of weeks ago. In South Central Washington, a small town called Patterson, a hawk picked up a fish out of the Columbia River and then dropped it on a substation, an electrical substation, cut out power to a large area, not very many people, but a large area, and started the substation arcing started a brush fire because a hawk dropped a fish onto it.
There you go, humans. This is how frail your civilization is.
That reminds
it was
me
a-
me of the time when I was in high school and found out our power was cut by a raccoon who got into the substation and basically fried himself on the hydro wires.
Yeah, your
Nice.
civilization is hanging in the talons of a hawk, like a fish.
It was a targeted attack. He picked up that thing. It's like the planes with the scooping it out and then dropping it on the fire. Well, this bird picked up the fish and dropped it right where it would arc the substation.
When
Oh,
forecasting for wild,
sounds like you wanted to eat cooked fish. That's funny.
when
Yeah.
forecasting for wildfires, one thing I often talk about, could we see fire starts? One thing I cannot take into account is hawks dropping fish on substations. That's very hard to predict in the weather world. There is no modeling for hawks dropping fish.
So
Can
However,
you
one could
imagine how
say,
awesome that would be if they created weather models for how many hawks are out there about to drop fish?
one
Be
could
looking
say
on
that it
there.
is more likely closer to the river than it is further from the river.
one thing I would add is that my impression is that fire starts will continue to go down. We've got like 80 less fires going on in BC. Is that we're somewhere in the 340s or something right now. Last time I looked today, we got 80 less fires going on in BC than we had 2 weeks ago. We have only one fire of note happening in the province. That's down from 6 to 3 weeks ago. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of fire starts necessarily as we come into the fall. I don't. But what we do have the potential for is for fires that have been burning all summer that have quieted down for a while to wake back up and have some increased burning.
That's a really good point. And on that point, these fires would burn the opposite direction. And so there's a lot of fuel on the back side of that fire because these, typically would get winds going out of the west or out of the southwest.
That was actually
So-
exactly what I experienced at Donnie Creek Fire last September, in which the biggest day in Canadian history of burning, as far as I understand it, was September 23rd last year. And that was across parts of Alberta, Saskatchewan, Northwest Territories, northern eastern British Columbia. And I was there, and fires ran. They ran. Mark, thanks.
And it's important to note that was September 23rd.
Yeah,
That's my birthday.
That's pretty late in the season, and it's Michael's birthday. That's pretty late in the season. So, fire season's not done yet. Just, don't freak out. Like Joey said, we're probably not going to have a whole lot of new fire starts, but if you are in a fire hazard zone, which is most of Canada, just keep it in the back of your mind. Don't be dumb. Have a plan. Half of saving your life is having a plan.
Michael's birthday tree candling. That's still a month away, right? So we still got quite a bit of time in which fire season can happen. Although, like I say, I think we're probably past big panic moments on large scale fires and things like that. But, we're probably going to see some fire activity still in the fall. We're not out of this completely yet. Thanks for the great report, Mark. We always love having you on the show. And you can go to bed now if you want, I suppose. I hate losing you, but...
Yes, thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mark.
Okay. Bye now. Meteorologist Mark. There you got Hank Vlister right now is standing near the mountains in Saskatchewan. What's that in the background, Hank? You got some beautiful mountain scenery in Wilkie, Saskatchewan.
We got a new pool going in to Wilkie. They're building a new pool out here.
A mountain and a lake.
A public pool. It's gonna be outdoor swimming. Just
Is there
like
going to
the
be a water
current
slide?
pool.
So
And I would imagine there's some sort of, a little kiddie slide there, Brandon.
So you had some storm
Hey,
chases.
how many of you guys have? Yeah, what?
I was gonna say you had storm chases on Sunday. I didn't see how successful those chases were for you.
Not good. It was better last night. We just had bad luck on the weekend. I like to blame Environment Canada, but it was partly my call. It's just I trusted them too much. They put in a severe thunderstorm watch, and it did not cover the area that I originally wanted to go to, and so I changed my mind on where we were going, which storm we were going to start on. And
I feel my anger getting hotter.
I changed my mind. That was a bad idea to change my mind because where I wanted to go would have taken me out of the severe thunderstorm watch, but it ended up being way better up there. And they ended up putting a severe thunderstorm watch there later, and it would have been better up north where we wanted to go in the first place. So anyway, it didn't work out so great on the weekend, but last night was awesome for me because lightning photos. And the only reason these were better than normal conditions for lightning photos was not the strength of the storm. The storms were weak. They were slow moving. And when you're trying to take photos of lightning, that is perfect.
If the lightning is like, if the lightning does this instead. Like, oh, there's one.
Yeah, when the lightning moves that slow, Joey, that makes it so much easier to get good photos. And it's like, I know. Yeah.
It's
And
incredible.
so the storms were
I saw
moving.
your photos that you took out there. They look really not only picturesque, but it looked to me like it was just straight up something you'd see out of a movie before a tornado or something touches down.
Yeah. The storms were moving 25 kilometers per hour last night. And that is unusually slow. And it was easy to get in position and near the lightning, but not, but still stay out of the rain. And that's the challenge with lightning photography, is to both be in a place you can see the lightning good, but it's not raining on you, because it's awful hard to take photos in the middle of pouring rain, right? So
Well, not only is it unenjoyable to do so, but also your lightning's obscured by the cloud or the sheet of rain.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's why I prefer taking lightning photos inside where I can see it off in the distance.
Hmm. And so I didn't quite get enough sleep last night because I was getting so many good photos. It's hard to go home again, right? Anyway, I'm okay. I just need to make sure I get enough tonight. That's for sure. Um, you guys were talking about magic. I wonder if anybody here has been hypnotized. I tried to go up on stage with a hypnotist one time. Anybody else? Anybody go up on stage with a hypnotist?
No.
Yeah, and you know what happened is my mind is too strong.
Yeah, I know.
What about the
I won't
French?
allow myself.
My therapist
succumb
did
to
this to me once in
nonsense.
therapy session where I had to follow her finger the entire time. I thought she was doing the whole like hypnotism thing, but yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot more to hypnotize a person. I think magic shows are not really my thing, but Frankie's probably got a couple up his sleeve.
And the science is iffy on this stuff, and you have to want to be hypnotized to find yourself in that
Yeah.
state, right?
That's what the hypnotists themselves say that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how you can tell someone's really selling you some snake oil.
Well, it's crazy though what people will actually do on stage when they're hypnotized. It blows the mind.
When they're pretending that they're hypnotized.
I don't know. They don't ask anything even close to what their normal behavior is. I went up on stage one time, but like you, Joey, I felt sort of into it at the beginning, and then after a little while, I'm kind of like start looking around, like, is anybody else feeling like I'm feeling? And then the guy's waving at me, "Get off the stage! Come on, you're not hypnotized," you know.
They're like waving their
So-
finger at me. I'd be like, "Stop waving that finger at my face! I'm gonna kick you in the neck." Anyways, so there's this weekend, Hank. You got another chance for storm chasing, and when you're done, you're gonna talk to Mike about this too, because this is relevant to Manitoba. You got another shot at her this weekend, bud.
Well, good. I haven't looked at you this weekend yet. Thanks for telling me about that. That
Yeah,
is always
I
exciting to hear.
was just looking at the data too. Both of us have a good chance at storms this weekend.
So here's Hanky. He comes on to forecasting show with. Didn't look at the models this week.
Hey, Joey.
You're welcome. Saturday, Hank.
Saturday,
Saturday.
where? Saturday.
In Saskatchewan. Get your sleep.
Or you can come over here tomorrow
Oh, okay.
if you want.
And there's no better day than the weekend, because I have this thing they call a job, which interferes with storm chasing. Like, I swear, 5 out of 7 days of the week, it messes with your storm chasing ideas.
And I've tried my very best to not have one of these oppressive things they call a career. And look at me now.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
Well, Hank,
And
rest up, because this will work for your weekend. This will work for your weekend, and we're gonna move over to Manitoba here for a minute. So Mike, your
Yeah.
tag team partner there, Justin Wardle, has had a child today, so he's not here. I'm going to
Yeah.
ask to talk a little bit about his chases this week. He got a couple good photos.
Yeah, he got some photos in western Manitoba. He managed to chase a storm. I was over by Birtle, Manitoba, and I think it was over by Yorkton too. He managed to get a couple of supercell thunderstorm pictures. I think he snapped a photo of a wall cloud. Was rotating a possible tornado touchdown too. I think he posted it on the Weather Center in Manitoba. You can check the photo of that out. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but uh, he caught some good storms this weekend. I was kind of jealous because I was hoping to have some. But yeah, he had a successful chase and he actually got pounded by a hail core. So yeah, hopefully his vehicle isn't damaged by that. um, yeah, speaking of storm potential, it looks like this weekend is going to turn out to be a bit more on the active side. I had a look at the ECM WF weather model. I had a look at the GFS and the GDPS. All are coming in agreement with the thunderstorm convection moving into interlakes. There's going to be a cold front slicing through that heat and humidity on Sunday evening. So there might be some instability and enough to generate some thunderstorms. I think there's a possibility that the interlakes might get more of it. It's too early to say, narrow down specific areas, but looks like me and Hank have a chance this weekend. It's been kind of hot and humid the last couple of days. Yesterday was absolutely wild. Felt like 35 degrees with the humidity, and the day before that was weird because it was dry, but it was like hot. So it felt like Brandon maybe snuck in the humidity, sent me the humidity yesterday because we missed some storms that we were supposed to get some. Um, as far as like our temperature trend, I think it's been on an upswing lately. Like tomorrow, we're looking at high temperature of about 29 degrees, and then on Saturday and Sunday, it looks like 32 and 33 degrees. I think it's going to be an active end to the summer season in Manitoba. I can't really get into specifics, but it has been one of those summers where it's just been like more hotter than, and it's been awesome. But our farmers lately, what I've heard that a lot of the farmers are already harvesting, so that's good. Their crops are getting in. I think it was good that how we had the rain earlier in the year, and then we got all the drought, not drought, we got all the heat and humidity, so that helped the crops grow. So, yeah, in Manitoba, if you want to come and see a bunch of sunshine and no storms, we're in a storm drought right now in the Red River Valley area. So, if you want to come and see, if you're one of those people who wants to go to a beach, it's probably want to check out our area for at least a couple of days. But yeah, it's average in Manitoba, and I'll keep it that way for now.
Average in Manitoba.
What kind of beaches you've got? What was it at Gimli there?
Winnipeg Beach,
Winnipeg Beach. Oh yeah.
Grand Beach, Albert Beach, Victoria Beach, Birds Hill Park.
Some great beaches in Manitoba, surprisingly.
Go to the beach and get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Actually, surprisingly, there weren't many. I was at Birds Hill yesterday,
Okay.
and I only got bitten by one mosquito.
I've
One
been
lone
down
mosquito.
to Turtle Mountain Provincial Park once, I think camping long time ago. Long time ago. And the mosquitoes were, oh my goodness. That was probably one of the worst times camping with mosquitoes. Because somebody left the door open and they all came into the camper. Spent the
Yeah,
night doing this, slapping. Oh yeah.
I remember doing that as a kid, or open up the camper door RV, a whole hundreds of thousands to come in, and they're trying to sleep, and you're like, how many mosquitoes are there in here? Is there like this is like horrible. It was horrible. But
Yeah.
I get your feeling. Manitoba's mosquitoes are like uh they're bad. I
Yeah.
guess you guys don't get them in Alberta as much.
Well, there was one year where they were really bad here. I was I don't know, about 15 years ago, and I couldn't even go outside. They were so bad. That was a long time ago, but usually, yeah, they haven't been too bad. Last year, I think there were no mosquitoes because we were drought conditions, but this year we have a little bit more in the way of mosquitoes, but not too bad. You put some bug spray on, you're good to go. Yeah.
Do you
That and
guys you guys
that and
spray
the-
for them out there?
In some cities, yeah, they do. Yeah.
that and the prairie winds just blow them all the way to Manitoba.
Oh yeah.
Frankie McDonald, what's your dad, Frank McDonald, been doing lately?
He wrote his song, Footprints. That's his latest song. I sent to you a link to you my video about my dad's song.
Okay, let's watch it right now.
Hey everybody, my dad, Frank.
That started again for.
Hey everybody, my dad, Frank McDonald, made his latest song in SoundCloud, Mystic Mist. His latest song is Footprints. It was written by my dad, Frank McDonald, and he did a lot of effort making a song. Footprints, that's the title of his song. He played the guitar all by himself, and he mastered a song and recorded his own song. He wrote his own lyrics and things like this. He played the guitar all by himself. He played a song, Footprints. That's his latest song on his SoundCloud, Mystic Mist. My dad's latest song is Footprints by my dad, Frank McDonald. He's writing a lot of songs. He's making a lot of songs lately. You can check out his latest song, Footprints, on his SoundCloud. Mystic Mist, Frank Down.
All right,
A
here's
beautiful rainbow after this nice little convective squall. Just dropped a little bit of rain on us. Not too much. Just enough to wet down the town of Wells. Oh, look at the rainbow now. It's getting bright right on top of my house. My house is getting attacked by rainbows.
there it is.
This is bad news.
My God.
Falling out right now. Anything could happen.
Have to edit this part
I'll
out.
watch the video later. They try mopping this.
Well, if that's not crazy, nothing is. My house is being attacked by rainbows right now. Big old rainbow. I just happen to be up on top of the pile here. See a rainbow attacking my house. Hope my house is going to be okay. I don't have rainbow insurance or anything like that. You never know when an extreme rainbow event's going to happen. Oh, look, it's only one rainbow though, so this doesn't classify as extreme rainbows. Not
That's funny.
rainbow intercept, but it is hitting my house. It's supposed to be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and I tell you, there is no fucking gold in my house. Not no more. No, definitely not. In fact, there's barely anything of value. But so you know, that's now officially a lie, unless it's underneath my house in the mud. Maybe there's some gold under there somewhere. But if so, I don't own the rights to it. So there's no gold down there, okay? Don't dig up my house. Extreme rainbow, and I'm not even in it. I'm probably the most valuable thing in my house. Oh, maybe Josh has something more valuable. I don't think so though. He's as cheap as I am. And that's, you know, what we like about each other. I don't know what I'm gonna say to him about the rainbow hitting our house while he was gone. Like, sorry Josh, while you were gone, a rainbow hit the fucking house. Well, that's all she wrote. You know, how long am I gonna sit here and photograph this rainbow hitting my house? A long time. I gotta see what happens. You never know what's gonna happen. Could be rainbow damage. Still just enough moisture in the air there at my house to make a rainbow attack possible. Now, rainbow's still hitting my house right now. So, nothing I can really do about it. Except, just, you know, pick up the pieces. Uh-oh, there's a second rainbow forming. This is really bad news. 2 rainbows. It's an extreme rainbow outburst from a nothing of a little rain squall. That's how dangerous these things are. Look at these beautiful cumulus clouds in the background, actually. Isn't this just a gorgeous afternoon in Wells, except for the fucking rainbow hitting my house. Looks like it's finally moved on from my place. It's just sort of near it. No,
Who am I kidding?
it's trying to hit my house is what it's trying to do. Well, unfortunately, my place is totally fucked. But it was like
That before the rainbow attack, anyways. So hit like, share, and subscribe so that.
Anyways,
you are never the victim I have to edit it a little.
Rainbow attack.
I have to do a little bit of editing there, obviously, to make that TV worthy. Speaking of editing, I forgot at the beginning of the show to say the time and date and all that, which is really important for radio listeners who might be listening to our
As
show.
for Comedeorological Weather Report, August 22nd, 2024.
Yeah. So what I'll do is we'll do it right now, and then I'll edit it and I'll put it at the beginning later, right? So I'll be like it's the Comedeorological report for Thursday, August 22nd. How's that?
Well done. And then now you gotta go, I'm Joey only.
Well, I said that already. That's we just put this at the beginning there, and then the I'm Joey. You already got the I'm Joey only in there, right? And I mean, besides that, nobody cares who I am.
Well, I've been practicing that stuff all day today. Well, sort of.
He's been
but
telling himself he's Joey only.
All
telling
day
myself
long,
Joey
Brandon's
only.
at A&W stealing Wi-Fi.
I would
I'm
totally go
Joey
on
only.
here. I'm Joey only. Live on
Yeah.
location with Joey only.
It would be awesome if I got some burgers out of it.
What do you say? Oh, isn't that like what is that seafood restaurant called again? What if he goes to that place, Joey's?
Hey,
Oh,
now let's
Joey
stop the
only.
seafood jokes before I get angry, friends.
I remember that. We had one of those and then it got it ran out of business. But yeah. Now it's Subway. It's taking its place.
Here we go, Brandon.
These at 66 kilometers an hour. Tonight, a few clouds, low down to 12. Then, as we go on into tomorrow, we will be dealing with a potential for a mainly sunny skies. Could get a few scattered showers, maybe a few thunderstorms popping up late in the afternoon and on into the evening hours. Our high tomorrow.
Stealing Wi-Fi.
Two Brandon Houks in the world.
That the stealing Wi-Fi was first mentioned on Compound Media Network, Anthony Cumia Network.
Why would he accuse you of stealing Wi-Fi? Like, what's his what's business of it?
Nelson Peabody's the first one that said that.
What business of it is it of yours, Nelson? Whether Frankie's engaging in
Nelson Peabody made that up.
Whether Frankie's engaging in the practice of Wi-Fi accumulation through whatever devious means.
Yeah, he's probably wanted by Wi-Fi police in Iceland volcano police.
Which is why Frankie says, do not travel to Iceland.
Yeah.
Because he started a volcano there.
Oh, yeah.
Where are you going to hit next with your environmental powers, Frankie? Who gets it next?
Big lightning storm Winnipeg probably.
Frankie's going to cause a big lightning storm in Winnipeg this week. Can't wait. And
Question, Brandon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to agree with me on this, but it looks like severe storms are possible this weekend in southern Manitoba. Would you agree?
Yes, I'd say Saturday and possibly Sunday too, especially when you're cranking up that heat and humidity. I think it's going to feel like 40 Sunday in Winnipeg. So
That's what I saw. I saw like 43 with the humidity or something on Sunday.
yeah.
Do you want to come to Manitoba? If you want to come to have an actual outdoor sauna, come to Manitoba in my own backyard.
That's Sunday, August 25th. Yeah.
Sunday.
Just in case, because the
Don't
show
go,
airs.
Don't go streaking though.
Because the show airs on Mondays in Winnipeg, right on CK.
Oh yeah, the humidity will be gone by the time the show airs. It'll be like,
So,
what?
yeah, you don't want the people to be hearing that the next day and being like, "Wow, that sounds like just what happened. It's gonna happen again."
Except don't go streaking in that humidity. You're gonna regret it.
By the way,
No.
my favorite thing with humidity is when you're in Calgary, when it's like, oh, your wrists are like cracked and stuff, is 20 below and cold and stuff, and then you fly to Florida and you walk off that plane and that first shot of humidity hits you. It's just like, wow, it's so amazing. It's like, and all of a sudden your hands are not cracked anymore. It's like, there we go. That's
But
for
then
Or
you
your
have the
hair-
unfortunate problem of being.
You don't
in
have to worry
Florida.
about your hair freezing after you come out of the shower. That happened to me a lot growing up.
Well, I have to worry about my hair going all fuzzy because I have very curly hair and it doesn't like humidity.
Well, for those who are not aware, For those who are not aware,
Buffalo.
Wells is 3,935 feet above sea level. It's cold up here in the mountains, and we are the most northern town with the highest elevation. The only other towns that are higher in elevation than us are all in southern reaches of Canada. So we get the cold, and we've been getting hard dew points, very, very wet in the morning, very, very chilly, very foggy first thing in the morning, and then it's cold. I got the wood stove going right now, and it's only Thursday, August 22nd.
Thursday.
You like how I set that up? Frankie, how can people find you on the internet?
If you want to follow me on social media, my blue sky is at Frankie MacD. My ex, formerly known as Twitter, is at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD194. My TikTok is FrankDon194. My Clapper is FrankDon194. My Twitch is FrankDon194. My Snapchat is Frankie MacD. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. Best luck to you. I'm Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to Comedeorology Weather Report every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Not this weekend, but next weekend is Labor Day weekend. Both Canada and the United States on the same day, September 2nd.
Well, that concludes this episode of the Comedeorological Report for Thursday, August 22nd.
If you want to catch me and Justin, head on over to the Weather Center in Manitoba for weather updates.
And if you want to catch Brad and Hout, go to A&W in Brooks, Alberta.
Yeah.
You'll be stealing Wi-Fi there. You've been listening to us on CFR 88.7 FM in Prince George, CKUW 95.9 Winnipeg, CFBX 92.5 Kamloops, and of course Rogers Television outlets down there in Vancouver Island. Thank you very much for having us once again. That is pretty much the end of the Comedeorological Report for yet another week. This is episode 157. 157 times, Frankie, we've done this together, and Brandon Houk's been here for at least 140 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. We're still going strong. You know, despite all those years of nobody watching, we're still going strong.
We should have a big party when we reach episode 200.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza on air.
A pizza party on air.
That's the show.
That's the show. I'll probably just.
That's the show.
Okay, yeah, I guess Frankie's right. I forgot to mention, by the way, tonight we had Hank Fleistra on. We had who from Wilkie, Saskatchewan.
Where's Hilding?
We didn't have Hilding. Hilding's been busy with festivals and farming. We didn't have Imogen Cookie Bailey, producer, miss her. We did have meteorologist Mark. We did have Brandon Houk. We did have Mike McGregor.
Now,
We did Hank. We did have Brandon. We did have Frankie.
Highways are going to be really, 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 really busy next weekend because of Labor Day weekend, both Canada and the United States. How many airplanes will be up in the sky in both Canada and the United States?
And we did not have Justin Ordo on the show this week because Labor Day for his wife was today. So congratulations to you, Justin Ortel. Enjoy parenthood once again.
That's
All right,
the show.
that's the show. That's the show. Okay, we're done. Bye. Okay, that's not the show for the live stream. Bye, Frankie. He's gone. That's pretty much the show. Anyways, thanks everybody.
So, Brandon, I saw a new Burger King on our street, North Winnipeg on Main Street. That's got a crown in the inside of it.
Yeah. Oh,
hanging in there.
So you have like a play place in the crown?
They got rid of the play place and they replaced it with a crown.
Yeah, those things are dirty anyways.
You should come to Winnipeg and steal Wi-Fi from A&W here.
Well, if I might get invited to Winnipeg one day, you never know. So I have a really close friend there. Yeah.
I'm so glad Andrew Tate's father worked for the CIA, Tucker Carlson, whose father worked for the CIA, Alex Jones' family worked in the military intelligence, and Elon Musk, large military industrial contractor, are joining forces to save us from the deep state. That's so epic. And some great comments here. My friend Jake says, scientists that experiment on animals often have recurring nightmares about being experimented on. Maybe people from intelligence agencies have similar problems. To which I said, you think Elon dreams about having lipstick jammed in his eyes, you mean? Jeremy, do it again. Let's see who the deep state really is. There you go. So, funny comments there on Joey.
Is this in reference to the United States?
Yes, it's in reference to the military-industrial complex, Mike.
Or the military and non-intelligence complex? Non-intelligence. Is there not intelligent? No, I'm bad.
It's more like information and intelligence. I think we've already lost Brandon. I'm probably going to leave here in a minute, but here's just to fill you all in. Remind yourself of logical fallacies all the time. False choice, giving only a few choices when other alternatives are plausible. I love that one. False equivalence, when one conflates one or a few commonalities between different entities and think, hey, well, they're pretty much the same. No, that's also oversimplification often. The straw man argument, where they misrepresent someone's position so that they can attack it more easily. Cherry picking information, right? That's also sort of in false equivalence. Causal reduction, assuming X is the only cause when many were involved. People love that one. They like to just sort of run with, HARP caused it,
Or 5G causes like cancer, or 5G causes bad weather, or or cloud seeding causes storms to, poof.
That is like false equivalence, right? So that's just some logical things to leave you with this week, everybody. That's the show for me. I'm going to go make some food and enjoy.
Good night, Joey.
Good night, Mike. Good night, everybody. Hit like, share, subscribe if you feel like it, and join my Patreon if you want as well. That'd be awesome. Patreon.com/Interior Weather Watchers, and check out communicationspodcast.ca. They've been sponsoring my forecasts this week, which Mark agreed.